I'm just recording it now just to kind of get it set up. There we go. And then that way you have embarrassing footage of me trying to get up on top of the stove. You might want to bring your camera down a little bit
Yeah,
because I'm just
I
seeing
know.
the
I
top
just
of your
said
head.
I'm using my laptop. Just want to see if I want to adjust my name instead of everything. So it's not you, it's me.
I've heard that before.
I wonder. I wonder.
Do I dare? I fucking dare. Oh, I did it. Hooray, I can sit. And I fits.
You sit and you fits.
One of these burners happens to fucking go off, it'll be hilarious. I'll be in the hot seat tonight.
Okay. Might have to adjust things with Zoom. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I don't want Discord up and running.
Content for the OnlyFans. Watch us play with cameras and sit on stoves.
Let's see here.
So I was shocked today.
Doing what?
So like I told you, I went downtown to here in Carlisle to go get some food and just take a break from cleaning up this god awful kitchen. And yeah, I go into like this crystal / magic shop, you know, where they sell all the crystals, they offer tarot readings. In the back, they had a little skate shop. And guess what they were selling? What I'm wearing right now kind of gives it away.
The pain shirt and the pain cap.
Yeah, but pain skateboards. They actually had the skateboards and everything. I'm like, Timmy's not a Frederick, so that's some reach. I give him credit.
Let that do what it's doing. I'm not going to risk that, but since I am currently, it doesn't give me, the downside is because for whatever reason right now, my computer is, oh, there it is, rename. There it is. I had to dig for it. It's been so long since my computer's allowed me to do this. There we go.
But yeah,
there we go.
I stopped off at Miss Ruth's. They had a bunch of pins on sale. And they were like, yeah, we were stuck doing inventory today. We weren't even supposed to be open, but we figured fuck it because nobody else is. So it was them, the one thrift store I wanted to check out, and then the holistic medicine crystal tarot reading place. And that was the place I find Timmy's skateboards and hats and everything else. And I'm like, huh, wouldn't have guessed a skate shop in the back of a, I guess you'd call it magic shop. I'm not talking about pulling rabbits out of the hat. I'm talking about the magic with a K.
Oh, by the way, Puffy, back, woman, back, back.
Well, initially I was going to go outside. You were talking about you were going to film outside, and then it hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm like, I go outside, it's going to be hot as balls.
No, it's just that I'm not. I used to work in 115-degree heat, and the heat's not going to freaking worry about anything. I'm not going to worry about that shit. It's just that, folks, we're recording this on July the fucking 4th, and
all right, so just to give you a rough idea, like I'm sitting here, my knees are all the way back on the top of the stove. If I reach out to touch my phone, that's how far away the sink is. There's like this little narrow space for a kitchen. I mean, it's claustrophobic as fuck in here.
Part of me, because this is July 4th, and my computer is actually working today, or at least it sees that it's actually plugged in right now. So that's why I'm doing it this way. And
Yeah.
part of me wants to see if I can make Sasha move from the stove and actually test fate. Yeah. Because I could, there's a possibility I get to record on my computer too. Because I'm on my computer. So
We
let's
get to
see if it'll
duel.
let me. Let's see if it'll let me do it. Let me see. Will it let me? Will it let me? Oh, you were letting me do it. Share screen, record. Let's see. Permission needed from host. Sasha. Yeah, let's send a request. Lean into it.
Yeah, I had to.
Lean, woman.
I'm not at the club. I ain't backing that ass up.
Back that ass up. But
oh,
anywho.
and speaking of Harrisburg Comic-Con, that may be a good possibility for you. If I have most of his apartment straightened up, but there's a lot of things that he wants to be present for. Because I guess he saw the $500 worth of shit I threw out of his fridge and his pantry last night. It was expired product. I found shit that was older than our relationship.
Macaroni does not expire.
Honey, when I opened this up, it expired. There was shit in the back of the refrigerator that I was half tempted to ask if he wanted to come have a beer with me because it was that fucking old.
Oh. That reminds me of some of the coupons my mom used to.
Al and I were chatting about it last night. So if we do decide to do that, I mean, it wouldn't be a problem for us to run down and get you, and you could crash on the futon. It might even inspire him to do a little more picking up in here. So as long as you don't mind his pack rat mess, you'd have basically a free place to crash.
Considering my tiny little place looks like a hoarder went to town in it, probably not going to be a problem.
All right. And just as long as you understand that when I get up in the morning, it does take me a while in the bathroom. So, because this beauty doesn't come naturally. Maybe it's Maybelline. Actually, I'm more of an Almay because they've got that blemish erasing stuff. Been tempted to try it on the scar that I got from my recent biking accident. I don't know if it'll make it disappear or not.
What did I tell you about making fights with the pavement? You're not supposed to do that shit.
Yeah, well, I thought it was funny because, like, when I was at BJ's the other day on Friday, one of the guys I work with that runs a tech desk at the high school was basically coming out at the same time I was going in. And he's like, hey, Sash, you think we could rev this thing up? I'm like, all I need is the parts, the time, and a working schematic. I'm like, yeah, we could probably amp excuse one of those mobility scooters. And I'm like, yeah, we can make that work. I said, it'll either fry the battery or fry the motors, but it will go fast.
That's also the thing. It's like we had somebody come in where my 9 to 5 is, and it's like, you know what? I work for the BCS, Berkeley County Schools. Like we were always getting rid of like old like laptops and desktops and all that freaking crap. Do you want that shit? I'm like, yeah, I'll plug that shit and see if that shit works.
Well,
I'm it's like an extra laptop.
The teachers to come back here in the last week of August after we've stripped and tore apart their whole classrooms and then waxed, stripped the floors, and then put everything back, because they'll have like a whole week and a half before school starts to start pitching everything that they don't want to keep. And I'll have fucking dumpster after dumpster. So I may have some stuff for the rage room for you. I just need a truck to stick it in. But it could happen.
Just keep a note. I always claim first dibs.
It was so funny because 2 years ago when I first started, because like I threw out a set of car tires, a whole set. They had it sitting out in the hallway, and I'm like, I have so many questions. I look at my coworker Lance, and I'm like, Lance, I swear to God, if we find a kitchen sink, I'm going home. I literally told my ship supervisor the same thing. Wouldn't you know it, 20, 30 minutes later, what do I find? A fucking kitchen sink. I'm like, dude, I'm going home. He's like, you're kidding me. I'm like, fucking not.
Like, oh no, like I told Sasha earlier, it's like, listen, I'm going to record outside, but then again, Sasha is originally from this area. She's completely familiar with Martinsburg moron syndrome. And yes, I point to myself at that. I include myself in that at times.
Oh my
So,
God. We now
what?
have a new title for like stupid shit that happens in your town. We can even start a gang. We can call ourselves the Martinsburg Morons. I love it. We'll become
And
our
that's
own
putting it
locale.
politely. There's another word I use instead of Martinsburg morons, but
That starts with an M because we need to have that, you know.
the other one's a little bit more insulting. Since either way, I call them Martinsburg meth head syndrome. So
The Martinsburg meth heads. I like it.
but since right now it's again the 4th of July when we're recording this and all that fun stuff, my neighbors are letting off fireworks and all that. And last thing we want during recording outside, as much as I love to record outside, explosions. And
Yep.
I don't want to start yelling at my neighbors. You're not Mr. Torque. Shut it.
Explosions.
Explosions?
Who knew off-world death matches were in fact illegal? Off-world death matches are in fact illegal.
Illegal. If I find the right muscle-bound person to come in the thing, it's like, I want you to do a selfie with me and just go explosions.
You gotta say there were explosions. But
That
yeah,
sentence
no,
had too many syllables. Apologize.
I love that line. He's got a lot of great one-liners. Oh, so where do you want to start today? I know obviously we're gonna do the whole Lumser thing, but where do you want to start? What do you want to start with today? I mean, part of me really wants to start ripping into My Monster FX and their comments today. Would love to start that. That way we can make sure that it's within the first 13 minutes of the video.
We can make it part of the whole Lumser on board thing because I don't really have anything ready right now.
We were talking about the we all live in a yellow submarine or an imploded submarine.
We Lumser on board. We all something out of a weird song coming out of the SK system, man. What's that? A song. We all live in an imploded submarine. Imploded submarine.
And that would work. Then you also have the Canadian wildfires, but we could touch on all of that. So you want to do that for like Lumser on board and just do the My Monster FX so we can get it right
Yeah,
out.
we'll talk about the updates and that fun shit. The camera with me. Where the fuck is it? It's over here. No, wait, I was on.
Yeah, I'm shopping for another one of those masks. That way I can get it. I can customize it with the H and send it your way.
I'm gonna buy just one of those peel off letters. I'll put the H on it.
Those appear at Dollar General every year.
Yeah.
They're bargain basement Halloween costumes. I have one in black, like it's solid black.
Yeah, let's see. I'm just wanting to pull up the screenshot. Yeah, I have it on the tablet, so I don't have to worry about opening up the other phone.
Let's start with if we start with any comments. Start with the one where he was calling me a moron and everything else. Because you'll notice that if you try to access that normally, instead of going into like the video, you can't find that comment anymore. You want to know why? It's because he fucking edited it.
If you didn't edit, mine is not. My comment is not. My personal account is not up. We'll get into that for whatever reason, and I can't access it. So, and let's see here. Oh yeah, that's the one you were talking about. I was just getting it up and ready, and let me adjust the screen time on this so it doesn't fade out on me. Display screen time, 13 minutes.
And the other thing why I didn't film outside, because like I do have like a 6-foot cable that could go outside, because like I'm right in the heart of like Carlisle here in PA. What's funny is like nobody's blowing up anything around here because we're in city limits. Like if I blew up something right now, cops would be on my ass in 5 seconds. That, and I'm right behind the gingerbread man, which is where I might roll up if I don't decide to clean anything else in here.
The thing is, here in Martinsburg, we have the similar ordinance. You're not allowed to blow up anything within city limits. I am less than a quarter of a mile from downtown area. And yeah, people will be blowing shit up. Legitly. So,
yeah.
Let me get my... So, again, Martinsburg morons syndrome. You're not supposed to be doing that shit. Oh, we're going to do it anyway. Screw you.
Fuck around and find out. But no, it was funny because, like, I got a 6-foot long cable to charge my phone. So I'm like, what if I run out of power? But because he's got like a little fire escape porch off the back door here beside the kitchen, which is cool because if you want to go out and smoke or, chill and enjoy the sunlight, you just walk out the back door. And I always figured that there might be a power outlet out there because why not? You might as well, have power outlet. Fuck no.
Yeah. My power outlet's on this side of the house and the front door's on the other side of the house.
So I'm sitting here trying to figure out how to make this 6-foot cord. And like, if I do this, I'm literally touching the exit door to the outside where I could be filming. But there was no way of doing it because when you close this door, it closes tight. Like you got to fight it to open it. I would know because I've done at least 20 loads of laundry since I've been over here. Because that's how you get to the laundry room.
It's tighter than no.
It's tighter than a virgin on prom night.
Right.
Woo! But
the tighter than a virgin's front hole on prom night. I'll say it like that.
But yeah, I tried, and I'm sitting here like, there's no way I can do this. And I was like, I could go out with just battery power, but depending on how long we go, is battery power going to cover it? And I'm like, probably fucking not.
The thing is, that's why I usually use this at times, is because for the most part, the battery on this, if it's anywhere like 80%, it'll still last me the whole recording time. Not to mention, I have the USB-C cord like right nearby that I'll just plug it in.
Yeah, you just pop her in.
That's what she said.
Yup. All the time. Just slide it right in there.
Just slide it right in.
There you go, OnlyFans. You're getting your content. Oh, you can see the detail on that mask now. Oh, yeah. I like this camera. You can see the detail. That's killer.
Who knows what you're going to see with the newish computer when I finally get that shit.
Ooh, can't wait. All right. So lemon face, lion face. Lemon face, lion face. All right. Lumser, I'm bored. What plaything do you have for me today?
A little ditty out of the SK system, ma'am. It could be originating from a place they call Florida. And it somehow seems to go something similar to this. We all live in an imploded submarine, imploded submarine, imploded submarine.
Oh, Joy and Joy, what's it called? Seagate?
Yeah, something like that.
I'm like, it's already got its built-in controversial name, Seagate. I mean, we had Gamergate, now we have Seagate. Oh my fucking god. And only recently did we find out that fucking sub imploded, catastrophic implosion, and they're recovering remains. And I don't know if you're familiar with catastrophic implosion. Them remains ain't gonna be much remains, if you know what I mean.
It's gonna be over there, and out there.
But it's not an explosion, it's an implosion. Which is far worse. But I'm going to use the news bit where they had the what was that? Not Interact. What's the other company?
Logitech.
Logitech game controller. We all know how garbage Logitech is as gamers.
Hell, the guy. I think I even shared it on my Facebook page that the owner / inventor of Logitech controllers. He's like, I get it. We're not the first choice you're gonna get for controllers. If you need a backup, we're that company. It's that
friend's controller, whenever you'd invite somebody to play Nintendo over, when you were a kid, you always gave them that shitty controller that you had as a spare. Here you go.
Yeah, and the thing is, the fact that CEO, that owner, that inventor, acknowledges that, and he's playing up to that. It's like, hey, we're not the best, we're not the greatest.
I think if it only
we're probably the third or fourth on your list for a controller. You're not supposed to do that. Not to mention all the other controversies that have come out and said the guy behind this Turing sub was cutting corners and this, that, and the other thing, and none of his shit was inspected or rated to be that deep nonetheless.
Exactly. And it's not even a regulated sub. It doesn't go through the regular regulations. It's not certified or qualified by anybody. And so you're already taking a risk whenever you do it. And $250,000 ridiculous. Hell, the engineer the day before they launched told them straight up and up, it's not safe. Don't do it. This sub isn't sound. Maybe you want to get one of the newer ones out before you do it. And of course, they're all like, you're fired. Fuck it. Let's go ahead and take this down.
And the thing is, a lot of military or folks that do the high-end damn drones that even like the government uses or military uses, they use like PS5 and Xbox One controllers. We're talking the legit stuff that you kind of see in my hand right now, that is not the shitty shit, but because they have higher standards.
But even then, we're talking about the military, so it's also lowest bidding contractor, so it wouldn't surprise me if it wasn't still them. I mean, honestly, given my experience, I can tell you, how like some movies, you see like there's weird special keys and little tiny discs you have to launch a nuclear weapon. Bullshit. They still use floppies about yay big by yay high to get that shit running because it's the lowest bidding contractor.
Someone brought up, I wouldn't say an interesting fact, but they brought up the whole aspect of the Futurama quote. It's like, in regards to the sub, it's like, the sub was being like, the ship was being dragged down, and someone asked the professor, it's like, what's this, how many atmospheres is this ship qualified for? And he's like, 0 and 1. How many atmospheres are we up to now? 30.
Oh, don't worry, it's a suppository. But at the end of the day, I mean, damn. And it just really sets bad on Seagate that they fired the engineer who told them there was a problem, and there was a problem.
Not to mention, a lot of people were like, well, is it tragic that these people lost their lives? Yes. But the aspect of, well, they're explorers. They're not exploring anything. They're being tourists, because somebody was making a comparison of the millionaires and the billionaires of old that were claiming that they were explorers and then so forth and so on. There's a difference between, hey, we're going to build a sub, make sure it's safe, and explore the Mariana Trench or the deepest parts of the ocean versus, we're going to make a sub for the cheapest amount possible to visit a sunken ship.
And
that's tourism.
Even if something goes wrong, you're bolted into the fucker. Nobody's letting you out except for a third or a second party. You're stuck in that fucker. You run out of oxy, you're done. And that's
the experts would tell you that. I don't know how true it is, folks. Description down below, depending on what platform you're listening to this to or watching it. They're down there, you have to take a slow ride down and a slow ride up because of pressure. And there are many folks, I think, that work on the bottom of the sea floor.
Yeah,
they have to spend days, if not weeks, in a pressurized chamber and still go down there slow and come back up slow and still spend another hours, days, or weeks in a pressurized container, adjusting back to our pressure here topside. And you're doing that just for shits and giggles? No. Save yourself
$1,000 a pop. I mean, I will say at least it was advertised. It was certainly a trip of a lifetime because when you do it, it's done.
Save yourself $240,000. Go to Disney World.
Hell, if you want to see the Titanic, there's this place, I want to say, somewhere near one of them harbor towns. For $30, you can explore a replica of the Titanic that has relics and stuff inside of it, and you don't have to get imploded to do so. $30.
Or just turn off a reactor in a old refurbished firehouse. And the ghost of the ship will come to you and let off all its passengers.
Sheesh. And to me,
I know it's a bad Ghostbusters 2 reference. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But it's just one of them things, man. It's like, wow. $250,000 to go watch a wreckage or look at a wreckage that James Cameron already thoroughly explored, but he did it with all the safety protocols. He didn't go down if something was unsafe, things of that nature.
Right, and he did it just for more information and more everything for the movie Titanic.
Yeah, and it's funny because like people forever were trying to reach him for a comment. And granted, he did finally give one, but his comments should have been dumbasses and left it right at that.
That I agree, and not to mention that's one of the few respects I'll give to James Cameron in regards to that. Not to mention the actual scientists that go down there to see whether or not nature went, hold my beer, in regards to everything.
It's just stupidity. It was a bad idea. I feel like Carter Burke saying that. It was just a bad idea. It was a bad call.
There's just one billionaire feeding off of a bunch of other billionaires.
That's like, you wouldn't go skydiving without all the safety and proper precautions. Of course, as I always say, you shouldn't, if at first you don't succeed, skydiving isn't for you. Now we'll add going in a submersible on top of that.
Right. Because why should we?
But that's our take on Seagate.
Right.
We'll heard our dramatic pause for credits, titles, yada yada.
Dramatic pause.
Yep. Makes editing easier for us.
And how can we say this? We have who wants to segue this in? You or me?
Oh, no. Let's do our typical opening. So, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, if you haven't already figured it out, you are listening to Sasha After Dark, the podcast of Darkness reboot, with yours cruelly, Sasha, the Princess of Darkness, and my co-host, the Martinsburg Madman, aka Reverend Godfather of the Long Coat Mafia podcast, Christopher Lumser.
Or if you're watching or listening to on my end, the repost, reboot, whatever,
Repost, repackaged,
reissued, this thing that got fell off the back of Uncle Tony's truck.
Yep. But anyways, we come on here, we talk nerd, we talk geek, we talk horror, we talk sci-fi. As you can tell, we talk about shit that's in the news. So where do you want to go next, Mr. Lumser?
How about some weird and interesting updates?
Ah, yes. Do you want to go with the comments first or some more research and digging I've done?
Let's go with comments and everything else because if you don't mind me going on a little bit of a hashtag tangent first.
Hashtag tangent.
And that is, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't watch the full 1 hour, 25-minute clip I posted up last week in regards to the Blobfest drama, please watch the full 1 hour, 25-minute clip, because at the end, last 25 minutes has an update and challenge from me, which I'll briefly go into right now. And that challenge was that Sasha shared with me an email that she got from those at Blobfest / the Colonial, those that are actually running Blobfest, because it had staff attached to it and Blobfest. And my challenge was to Colonial and Blobfest that I wanted, as part of the Long Coat Mafia podcast, any information, full rules, regulations, and policies in regards to their mix Blobfest contest. And I wanted, because they claimed in that email due to that there was bullying / harassment from other people from that contest, meaning the mixed Blobfest and the costume contest. Correct, Sasha?
Yes, that's absolutely 100% correct.
Which made things sound like there were other people bullying and or harassing. That I wanted full uncropped screenshots of said bullying and harassment from those folks. And if it was just Sasha saying these really outside of what she posted publicly on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and what was posted on our podcast last week, to please let me know, so when I record the next episode, I have that information to ask Sasha herself that stuff and confront her to make things fair. To date, I have not received any information in regards to those requests. So mum has been the word in regards to that. But we did receive 2 comments on that clip from someone who more than likely did not watch the full 1 hour, 25 minutes, but watched barely 10 minutes. Yes.
Can I interject here?
Yes, you may.
When it comes to any of this stuff, please watch the video in its entirety.
And we do not, at least on my end, I'll say this on my end. If you're watching this on my channel and listening to this through my outlets in regards to like Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, all that, I do not allow do not allow, do not condone in regards to any harassment or anything against the person or that is in this comment section. Please let me and Sasha talk to this person and kind of like we did in the comment section to have them prove their case, because that's what Sasha did. That's what I did. But the first comment that this person, since because we'll probably be using the phrase public a lot, please follow the drinking, the kind-hearted and fun drinking game that every time we say the word public, please take a drink of your beverage of choice. If you are under the age, please use something that is allowable via state law in your area for that beverage. Now,
and drink responsibly.
Yes. Now, to be safe, I'm not going to give this person's handle. If Sasha wants to, she's more than welcome to do this. But this person's first statement was to put it how, I'll try to read it how they wrote it. Sasha, the Princess of Darkness, 01 is trying to silence you. You have been harassing other contestants and people involved in the event since at least last year. You are either a complete moron or likely you are an aggressive troll who is miserable and wants to attack others and ruin fun for other people are having. They seem to have canceled the contest because there are multiple complaints of you harassing others, and they don't want to subject contestants and volunteers to your continued mistreatment. The part where you are either a moron or a troll is most relevant is where it comes to the contest rules. Nowhere did it say that submissions have to be public, which is why half of them every year are private. The rules do state that your video submission and photos can be used for public promotion. These are not even close to the same thing, no matter how hard you pretend public videos were a requirement. But most importantly, the rules state you cannot mistreat or harass others, which you have done endlessly. And most importantly, you must be family friendly because it is a family friendly event. You are far from family friendly or pleasant and do not have even the smallest amount of fun loving spirit that seems to be required to be mixed Blobfest. The contest has been canceled indefinitely because of your terrible behavior and alone have ruined this contest for everyone else. You are an asshole, and the fact that you're doing this to get attention and do not care about everyone but yourself is incredibly sad. I hope you learn to grow up and stop being such a miserable troll. Now, as me and Sasha contemplated that this person is either a vendor or part of the board behind this. Now, this buying your so-called statement, you yourself are now being harassing and a bullying and called name calling because you called Sasha a troll, you called her an asshole, and you called her a moron, and indirectly you called me a moron and an asshole. You have, if you're a part of this event and you do not have the complete rules and regulations to address me in regards to the official rules and regulations in regards to this, you have no right to say shit. Absolutely. That's number one. Number two, you in yourself in this statement, in this comment, said that they reserve the right for videos. And let's see here. Nowhere to read again. This is why half private. The rules do state your video submission and photos can be used for public promotion. You know what? If Blobfest and the Colonial Theatre have a YouTube channel, by their own rules, they can take and should be taking every single video from YouTube, public or private, putting them on their YouTube channel, creating a playlist saying, these are the 2023 Mix Blobfest contenders. Therefore, every one of those videos are public. And by keeping them private says a lot. It leaves me to put on a aluminum foil hat. I wish I had enough aluminum foil in this hat to make a hat. I would have put it on and say, could it be that there's somebody saying in those videos who will donate $5, $10, $20,000 to the theater for this? Or that hi, remember me, I am Jane Doe, or I'm John Doe, brother, sister, friend of the Colonial board member, vote for me? That is a valid conspiracy theory to have because they are private. By leaving them private and not posting them up under the aspect of advertisement or promo, leaves a lot of what Sasha said in her posts and asking what are you hiding in regards to keeping these videos private. And she didn't harass other contestants in regards to everything. She congratulated the possible finalist that was made public to her. Now, as per last year, the only way that you would know this, dear commenter, is that if you worked for the board or the Colonial in some way. Now, if you saw her public post last year in regards to this, and I asked Sasha in regards to if she still had those screenshots to share them with me, and Sasha did tell me that during the time, after that, it was after that something happened, that a celebrity passed that she did not agree with publicly in regards to their viewpoints. She made a comment in regards to that celebrity and their passing. And therefore, one of the contestants, not Sasha, approached Sasha and made comments to her. Now, if you're a board member or part of the Colonial and didn't say anything to that contestant, former contestant, that they were harassing another former contestant, that is on you. And to say, well, Sasha harassed them back. No, she didn't start the fight. She finished it. And in this case, and you guys didn't say, hey, girls, stop fighting. And in this case, Sasha asking one of the questions in regards to the public videos, say, hey, Sasha, we would like you to stop this or else we'll have to ban you from the event, which no emails were given to Sasha in regards to this. Shut the fuck up because you're not being professional.
Here's where a couple of my concerns come in with this commenter. Number one, I know this commenter. I'll address it later. Number two, I can tell you now that the commenter has very close ties with both the Colonial Theatre and Blobfest. Chances are a judge or a volunteer or member because they are a vendor at Blobfest. They also have their product sold at the Colonial year-round. And that product in and of itself is highly questionable when it comes to copyright and trademark, especially when you have the Colonial and Blobfest itself trying to threaten me with copyright and trademark, when in reality, I'm just promoting their event. But yet this person, wants to sell this product not only on their Etsy account, but during vending and at the theater directly. And it's like, I guarantee you have no permission from Paramount or was it Orion who put out this stuff?
Well, to kind of paraphrase Weird Al, but then again, I don't know if they're back in business. Orion is bankrupt.
And then you
But,
also have stuff from Return of the Living Dead, which I know still has copyright holders, because there was recent ones that came out as early as the 2010s.
something like that, maybe.
Yeah,
and not to mention to post aspect of this person's comments in regards to, well, she's not being family friendly, as Sasha told me.
Hold on,
and I want to. Okay.
Let me get into the whole family friendly. When they said I wasn't family friendly, I have several questions about that. Number one, and I'm quite sure you've watched both my videos, one from last year and the one from this year, correct?
Yes.
Now, if you want to, at some point at your leisure, you can go to the Colonial Theatre's website, the one out of Phoenixville, Pennsylvania, and there's a little sub area for Blobfest, and it has the rules and regulations for Miss Blobfest still up there, or Mixed Blobfest in this case.
At least at the time of this recording.
Yes. But those rules clearly state that a video can be anywhere from G to PG-13, which honestly, I think is a crappy way to scale it, because are we talking 80s PG-13? Are we talking 90s PG-13? 2000s PG-13? I mean, let's be honest. Jaws came out and they got a PG. Would it get a PG rating today? Probably.
No, probably get, not to mention, if you watch the 80s PG version of Jaws, depending if they took it out or edited the digital copy, it's why Sasha and even me to an extent like having physical media, is that you'll see the original how it was meant to be. But I'm sure there were certain scenes in the original Jaws where the swimmer, when she went into the water, she was topless. You saw, from the chest up. Heck, in the 1980s, my favorite example, Sheena, warrior. It's not warrior, the queen of the jungle, whatever it was still Sheena. She comes out of the river, butt ass naked, full frontal, good 5 to 10 seconds of her naked in that movie, and it's PG.
That dinosaur movie, Baby, about the dinosaur, where they go to the middle of the jungle, Macaulay Membe. There's tits in the first couple hours of that, and that is still a G-rated film. So that's where I think, number one, when it comes to the whole family friendly, they really need to clarify what they deem family friendly. Number two, when it comes to my videos, and like I said, you've seen them, is there anything in them that would go above a PG-13?
Probably not, no. There was no violence or anything like that. Not to mention, it's not like, as we discussed prior to this, that it's not like the other, I'm not saying you yourself, but we use another cosplayer that we know as an example in regards to them having a OnlyFans as well, where they post lewd, in their views, that might be lewd content. Since I've never subscribed to their OnlyFans, I don't know if they've done full frontal or topless stuff, but that's up to them. But still, that's not really considered family friendly. But they're not going to be going around posting YouTube videos or streaming on Twitch topless, saying, I'm going to be Miss Blobfest, or I would like to be a Miss Blobfest contestant. They're not promoting. They might have a link to their OnlyFans, but still, you have to provide ID and everything else to be on OnlyFans.
Right.
In a way.
And that's the other thing too. Like, do I create questionable content? Yes. But for their own rules and regulations, and again, I have screen grabs of them before they've tried to make any changes, because that's how my nature of the beast. There is nothing in the rules that state that as long as it's not in your video, they don't give a fuck. Basically verbatim of the rules. And to me, it's like, so why would my bearing on OnlyFans have anything of that nature? And yeah, is there some tongue-in-cheek twists, like some double entendres that might appear in my videos that I submitted for Blobfest? Yes, but nothing worse than what you would see in a Looney Tunes cartoon or on fucking Sesame Street. And that's one thing I can say. Now,
for those of you that are watching the clips on my channel, there is one, like the race theory that I posted up on my channel. YouTube age gated it, which means you had to be signed in, number one. Number two, 18 and older to watch it.
Yep.
So, and all my videos, when I post them up, I say they are not for kids. Therefore, they will never go to YouTube for kids. Exactly. I'm not saying YouTube isn't the best thing, and I'm sure the videos that I posted won't somehow fall through the cracks and wind up on YouTube for kids for some weird freaking reason. But for the most part, I try everything I can to keep those videos away from kids.
Right. And here's the other thing. So when we're talking family friendly, and again, I know this vendor. I saw how they treated me last year when I was looking at their merch table. Because even now, I was like, oh, don't you want to pick up one of these as a souvenir? I'm like, no, I don't like the vibe they're giving me. I'm going to be blunt, and I'm going to be frank. So with me not being family friendly, is it because I'm visibly trans and pansexual?
And that's the thing. It's like,
and if that's the case,
I cannot vouch.
Why make it mixed Blobfest? Not right, Mr.
That's where I'm agreeing with. That's where I'm agreeing with you.
It's like if my existence is a problem, why are you using a non-binary pronoun that's supposed to be all inclusive to everybody, man, woman, child, and non-binary pals? And to me, it's like, seriously. Also, the other thing in the rules that few people notice is that you have to be at least the age of 18 or older to compete in this Blobfest. So nobody who's posting videos is going to be under 18. So to me, there's a lot of conflicts in their rules. And honestly, considering the relationship that this commenter has, and again, see my own personal Facebook, Twitter, and stuff later for information on that. But given who this guy is, how he's related to the Colonial, he probably has some inside information. And so it makes me question, were you afraid to choose someone like me? Because us trans people are big in the news right now. Look at the Budweiser debate. Look at, for example, drag queen story times at local libraries. People lose their shit over that. Are you guys falling prey here while you're trying to pretend to be inclusive? Because if you are, let me know. Hell, you should let me know last year. We don't consider you family friendly because Should let me know this year. We don't consider you family friendly. If you're banning me and shadow blocking me, again, it goes back to the whole thing of non-transparency. You should have fucking told me. But the problem is if I would have been told, I would have broadcast that shit, and then a lot of people would have started asking questions. And that's why they're fucking uncomfortable now.
If they're keeping it, if nothing in the rule states that, as you said, we see it in the post, they said mix, which was the gender neutral aspect. Yep. Or if you want to look at it, not just gender neutral, I don't know, you'd probably know this more than me because you were a contestant. There might have been other folks besides you that had public videos up that were probably non-binary.
Right, like Dr. Divine. I don't know for certain what their pronouns are. That's why I stick with them.
Let me put this. With the doctor, you said her name was Dr. Divine?
Their name, just to be safe, because they didn't find them.
No disrespect to that person. But let's, on the aspect, I want to be respectful for them, but if they are identified as she, her,
I asked. I didn't really get a clear answer from them.
Look at it like this. If they wanted to be, you said that they were an actual doctor.
Mm-hmm.
What better way? I would have said, Sasha, nothing against you, but if they chose them, what better representation can Blobfest have than someone calling themselves Dr. Blobfest? Why? Because if that person was in appearance female, all right, like you are, So, and with the whole aspect of a lot of folks trying to get more women and females in the STEM field, what better representation could you have for Blobfest?
Right. It's best advertising in the world.
And also, if the rules never said that you have to be or identify as a woman to be in this contest, which means you could be non-binary and use the mix aspect. You could be identified like Sasha, use the whole aspect of she or Miss or Ms. Blobfest, or like Dr. Divine. Hey, I don't want to use I don't want to use it. I'm a doctor. I want to be called Dr. Blobfest. Or what about me? Yeah, there's no rules saying that you have to be identified as a woman for this. I want to do it. I want to be called Mr. Blobfest. Or hell, since I'm quasi-ordained minister online through Universal Ministries, I want to be called Reverend Blobfest. Or since I'm the main host and frontman for the Long Coat Mafia podcast, Godfather Blobfest.
Yeah.
Blobfest first Godfather. Why not? Have fun with it. Roll with it. But because you don't want to identify with someone, that could be problematic. We don't want you here. Causes issues. And not taking up that aspect of they're for advertisement and you don't want to do that. That's an issue. And I told Sasha the waivers that my employer uses for axe lanes and rage rooms, we want to hold the rights to the photos and videos you take. So I asked my boss, the owner of the bar, please clarify that because I'm getting questions. And the response to me was that if someone like Sasha or myself came in, recorded and posted up just for themselves, hey, look at me, I'm Sasha, the Princess of Darkness, I'm throwing axes today, thunk. She owns that content. Or I'm the Reverend Godfather, I'm tossing axes today, thunk. We own that content. Fine, diddly. But as soon as we tag that location, that part of the waiver kicks in and they reserve the right to use any photo or video for advertisement if they so wish. Granted, right. if we say, hey, we're the motherfucking podcasters of Martinsburg and Waynesboro or Carlisle, they're not going to use it. But if it's right. Hey, look at us, we're having a birthday party or a graduation, they're going to use it. Now, to this gentleman or lady, we saw your other comment.
I got the best seat in the house. I can reach the fridge.
It's like your drink tonight is brought to you in part by Yingling. Mine is International Delight. Coffee. But this person's other comment that they posted up was they are completely open and honest about everything. Sasha just seems to have a huge misunderstanding of the contest rules and pretending that their lack of knowledge equals a massive conspiracy. Videos don't have to be public to be valid. Most people delete submissions from their YouTube channel after the contest and the videos are watched and voted on by a large committee of people. So there is no great mastermind picking a winner, and most of the winners have not been donators to the theater. They are just friendly people who took a chance, made a video, and got lucky enough to win a contest with no prize. This is just supposed to be a contest for fun, but it has been canceled indefinitely because Sasha won't stop harassing other contestants, volunteers, and staff because they are salty they didn't win. It's plain and simple. Now, let me put it like this. No prize. Sasha, as a contestant, I ask you, what was there any prizes this year?
Well, here's the thing with that.
No, I'm asking you. Don't say here's the thing. I'm asking you. What were the prizes?
Because keep in mind that this is something that's going to be in the public spotlight. So someone like me as a YouTube horror hostess and, podcaster and what have you, this is exposure. This gets your name out there. That alone is a prize, if you ask me. Number two, you get seating for free up front if you place finalists or basically you win. Number three, you do get a prize of basically being able to attend all of the movies, plus free beverages. And a lot of the stuff during the festival winds up being free to you and all gratis because you're the winner. And then finally, on top of all of that, you get to judge not only the costume contest for that year that you won, but you get roped in as a judge for the following year in the Miss Blobfest pageant. So as far as no prizes go, that's bullshit. There are prizes at stake. Now, granted, they might not have a substantial dollar amount, but the seating for the Blobfest run out, stage show, and going to the Blob Ball for free, that right there is about $200-$300, not to mention beer, liquor, free food, etc. That's your whole trip right there.
And possibly being as, I'll say this, my personal comment to this gentleman or lady, whoever they may be, does not show up for whatever reason. That's on YouTube. I cannot pull it up. Their original comment, which we read, does not show up. The one that calls Sasha an asshole. Now, again, they're deleted. So, again.
Because they deleted it and they edited it to make it sound better, but little do they know, YouTube still shows it if you click on their fucking profile.
Again, to tell this person in regards to respond, if Blobfest or the Colonial have rights to use any and all videos as promotional material, the fact that they're not downloading these videos to use as promotional material is on them. And that the fact that they're not doing and sharing those videos on their YouTube, Facebook, Twitter accounts is the dumbest. As I don't advertise, I'm not into advertising, promotion, all that. But I had a plethora of great teachers who know decently how to promote. Yes, as much as they probably don't want me to use their name, I'll use their name. Matt Burns is one great example. He knows how to promote. Yes, he might not be a professional advertiser or a promoter, but he knows how to promote. I would ask him if I was promoting something or doing on something on a large scale, he'd be the first person I'd ask for advice. Same thing with my buddy, Big Candy. He's promoted before. So therefore, when I started up the Long Coat Mafia podcast, I'd ask him when I was running out of ideas to give me ideas, what to do, how to do it. And he'd be like, or if I had an idea, I'd run it across him. He'd tell me, that's a dumb idea. Why the fuck would you want to do that? Shits and giggles. But he'll tell me flat out, that ain't going to fucking work. And when it works, he's the first person to tell me, holy fucking shit. I don't know how you managed to get that fucking to work. But the thing is, I'm sure even the folks that are currently doing Florida State Comic-Con right here, right now, they've been promoting way better with their stuff than what Blobfest has been doing.
Yep.
With all the talk have I seen a Blobfest advertisement in regards to sponsored on Facebook? No. But guess what? We're talking about it. I talk about Florida State all the damn time. But guess what? I get the sponsor stuff and I yell at Facebook saying, hey, Facebook, why am I getting Florida State stuff? I like their page. I like their group stuff. And I'm probably be going, to an event or two this year. So why am I getting sponsored shit? That their money that they're spending should be going to somebody that is not going, not somebody who is going or might be going. But still, and I've spoken to whoever's in charge of Florida State that, hey, if I record a panel or anything like that, or if I do an interview with one of the celebrities, you have especially if it's video, you have that full right to use that panel, video or audio to help promote your stuff. I'm giving it because I want respect. I have respect for the folks that were running it. And when Matt was running it, like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 8 years ago, I gave him permission. Hey, you're trying to promote this. You're doing right by me. You're letting me cut my teeth with this shit. Take the video, use what you got, do it. And, and I'd say that to anybody that I interviewed and all that, use it. Heck, when I recorded the panel, I think it was like last year with Mark Byrne. He shared, and I posted it up. I tagged him and Matt. That video got shared around. When I did the video in regards to the screen panel, tagged Donna and everybody else involved with that. They shared it around. They respected what I did and what, they came to me. I have respect for them, and it's, that sort of thing. And does it help? Maybe a little, maybe not. But there's that mutual respect. Them on the other hand, those folks at Blobfest didn't respect you at all.
No, they didn't.
And the thing is, they didn't come to me. This person didn't come to me and say, hey, yeah, I have all this. Where is it? This person has all this so-called evidence. And again, the email that was sent to Sasha has been posted up to her Twitter. Sasha's Twitter is public, which means you don't have to
Instagram, Facebook.
You don't have to be a subscriber or a follower of Sasha to see those photos and those screen gaps. You could just probably search her profile. Heck, I link in my podcast to all her outlets, and you could see her posts that she makes on Twitter and Instagram. So those photos are up. That email is live that they sent her, and that email says to the fact that, hey, it wasn't just one, it was more than one. That meant 2, 3, 4, 5, all of them. Hey.
At no point in their email to me did they ever accuse me of doing anything like that. Secondly, I never got any emails from them stating I was ever banned or disqualified or anything from any of the competition. Clearly, they know how to call me. They know how to email me. They know how to message me on Instagram, as we can see. And they're just not transparent with everything that's going on. Whereas with me, as I told you, in that email, my email, my DMs completely open to you, regardless of how many dick pics you happen to see from unsolicited people. But you have total access if you need it.
And the thing is, in that email, they pretty much went, yeah, we're refunding your money. As to slap you in the face backhanded, saying, you're fucking not allowed to in this event right now. And you probably spent, what, $200-300 to, at least in regards to those $700
if we include the tux, the hotel.
I'm just talking about the events that you paid to go see, whatever, like the blob showing and all that. Probably a couple $100.
More than that, because I did get backstage passes for MST 3K, and those also got refunded and canceled.
And the thing is, they pretty much showed you're not fucking welcome here.
Yeah, because all those events are still happening. The run out, the stage show, Blob Ball, the movies, it's all still happening right at the Colonial. Even though I thought when I got the email, they canceled everything, because even Facebook, with all the notifications we got, showed that they canceled fucking everything. And that's what I just find funny, because it's like, and I checked with some of the other competitors, like Jenny, who was a finalist. She wasn't going to win, but she was a finalist next to somebody named Heidi. We'll get to that later. But what's interesting is that even she was told, yeah, we're not doing the finalist part today. But that doesn't mean that they're not going to announce a Miss Blobfest or a Mixed Blobfest, because simply put, that person was already selected months ago. Why even have a competition?
That's the thing. Would you like to go into that? I'm inviting you in regards to expand on that.
So,
I say, what, as far as we know, this is circumstantial. This is
based on the evidence that I've received.
At least based on the
Because,
evidence that we have.
when Jenny got her email saying that, hey, you didn't win, but you're a finalist, it had the other finalist carbon copied. And there was another person carbon copied who wasn't a finalist, but was included in that email by the name of Heidi. Now, it's weird because Owl's a hell of a lot more observant than I am. I did all right when it came to choosing a partner, I guess. And Al goes, didn't you catch that season 2 episode of You Bet Your Life with Jay Leno from about October of last year? And I'm like, no, well, it's posted up on YouTube. Now, this episode, season 2, episode 42, and keep in mind that this episode came out and was physically aired 3 months after Blobfest, October 11th, to be precise. But it would have been filmed right around or just after Blobfest happened, so mid to late summer, because that's usually how TV productions work. But it got aired, and it was titled Miss Blobfest. You can find it on YouTube for You Bet Your Life season 2, episode 42, Miss Blobfest. And it stars a young lady by the name of Heidi Appe, A-P-P-E. Now, in this, episode of the TV show, and keep in mind that Heidi is a professional actress out of California, meaning in order to go to Blobfest, she's either going to have to fly her ass there, or B, the festival is going to have to pay for her to fly her ass there. Again, total conjecture. But in that episode, and it's about 9 minutes in when you find it on YouTube, basically Heidi's introduced and she talks about Blobfest very openly and publicly on national TV. And she states that she's going to be running for Miss Blobfest this year, which would have been 2022. Because by then, Blobfest, or 2023, because Miss Blobfest 2022 was already over. And to me, that just seems really, as the kids say, sus. Because again, Heidi is a professional actress. She does
and even at that point, unless they announced it at Blobfest 2022 that they were doing Mix Blobfest for 2023, and depending on her wording in this,
but said, they did announce Miss Blobfest 2023 at 2022. They didn't announce the competition until, I want to say, whenever my video posted, it was a month before that. Because I was kind of sitting on my video and I was like, no, I'm going to go ahead and fucking release it. Might as well be the killer himself and light that piano on fire and go follow this. You know what I mean?
Right. But the reason why I say it is because sometimes when you go to an event, let's say Baltimore Comic-Con or heck, even a 4-state event, they'll say, hey, see, like with 4-state this past April, May, whenever it was last, they said, we'll see you in Harrisburg this year in August. Or if it's like, or if you want going to be, if you can't make it to Harrisburg, we'll see you next year here in Hagerstown. They'll say that, but that's what my thought was.
Really announced, other than the fact that obviously they would have a Blobfest next year. Right. It wasn't really physically announced there was a Miss Blobfest until a month before I dropped my submission. Again, it's just all very sus because as a actress, as a public figure, public, but as a public figure, she has her own YouTube. All you gotta do is search for Heidi Appe. And you would think at least she would have candy grabbed that episode and posted it to her YouTube. Nope. You would think that there would at least be clips of her talking about Miss Blobfest, et cetera, Nope. And there is no actual entry into the Miss Blobfest contest aside from what You Bet Your Life posted as that episode on YouTube.
Now, as this gentleman stated, well, not all videos can be public, they could be private. Again, to reiterate, if the stipulation was that any and all videos and photos can be used as advertisement, the fact that they didn't says something. It poses up the theory that Sasha's trying to get out, that they could have hired this person, this Heidi person, to be Miss Blobfest for 20.
Well, that's not even my theory. My
And
theory
the fact
is
that the contestant, having the contestants, both public and private, was just theater.
yes. But my point is, I don't think they hired her. I think she knew she was going to be on You Bet Your Life last July. She went to theater people saying, hey, I would really like to be Miss Blobfest, and I'm going to be on Jay Leno, You Bet Your Life. It's national television. And I'm definitely going to mention the festival and my intention to run for next year. And to them, there's like national TV. Ooh, even though it's a daytime.
Even on that, Jay Leno has probably a couple of million subscribers on YouTube.
Right.
Not to mention, probably got a couple of million views on that episode. And I could follow, you could say with your following your logic, and I could agree with it. Oh, golly gee, what their aspect of, why have 5 public people, 5 YouTubers who have an open YouTube channels and public videos in regards to this that may have a total of maybe a couple of thousand to maybe 1 million followers total, but yet a couple of thousand views on their total videos, where we could have one person that went to someone's event that not just has a million subscribers on YouTube, but a couple of million watches on YouTube. Plus, if that episode appeared on national TV in upon itself, that's even more advertisement than we could ever think. So again, the possible theater of let's hold the contest to make it seem like it's fair to everybody else.
Here's to further impact that. Because keep in mind, the original deadline for Miss Blobfest was no later than June 12th. You have to have your submission in by June 12th. At that point, they only had, let me say it again, 5 public participants. 5. They were hoping to have more public participants to pad it out. That way, when Heidi showed up, it wouldn't even have been questioned. But as of June 12th, when they extended it to the 19th, the day the original deadline ended, when they extended it, they didn't get any more than those 5 public views. And then they realized they were fucked. So that's why Jenny Kopcho was a finalist, and Heidi App, APPE, is the winner. And the thing of it is they didn't want that to come out, and that's why they got salty at me for taking guesses as to who might have won. And then they were additionally mad because I happened to be in communication with a lot of the contestants. I'm like, hey, loved your video. I'm out here plugging it to make sure you get some views and try to get you some traction. You know, not harassment, just talking to them. And I did the same thing last year. And it's just that they were very forthright and open with me that, yeah, I got the not a finalist letter too. Or in Jenny's case, I got the notice saying I'm a finalist, but not the winner. And she's like, you know, but there was another person CC'd on there that was by the name of Heidi. And when you search YouTube videos for Heidi, Miss Blobfest, and I'm not talking doing a search through Google, there's certain scripts that can find unlisted and privated videos. Nothing shows up. Same way if you just do Miss Blobfest 2023 because somebody's got to plug in something for the video, for the title and everything else, nothing comes up. There aren't any private videos because they're giving Heidi the title and they were going to give Jenny finalist and leave it at that.
It's just, again, such. And I think they even told, we have some private. Again, the fact that nothing was made public by them and they had the opportunity to do so. That's what would piss me off. And one of the things that I put up I'll get, like the last video I talked about Otacon, I'll talk about here because we are running down close to my show's anniversary date. One of the first events that I covered was...
We'll still do a separate episode for that, FYI.
Yeah. But in regards to the first event that I covered was a mall pop culture show here in Martinsburg, good old Dirty Bird. It was put on by the local Martinsburg Mall. I asked them if it was okay to cover them. Now, West Virginia has something called, I should say, West Virginia is one of the many states that has a first party law, which means one person can record while everybody else doesn't have the permission. So in essence, either way, I was allowed to cover the event nonetheless, because in some ways I'm a quasi-journalist. I am in essence, I can be considered a freelancer, meaning if Sasha was at an event plugging her channel and I'm an up-and-coming podcaster or YouTuber, I have the right to interview her for my channel. And heck, if I did a blog for another website, it could be included in that, and therefore I, in a way, am a journalist in a way, not a professional one, but in a way I am. But all in all, I'd ask Sasha, is it okay if I record this for my podcast, for an interview, and so forth and so on? Each person I interviewed, and they claimed this was again 8 years ago. I didn't have a smartphone. I had a digital audio recorder I purchased from Radio Shack. That had a Radio Shack logo on the motherfucker. And they said, we told you, you're not allowed to record here. You're streaming that interview. On what? This is an audio. I held it up like this is an audio recorder. It ain't streaming nowhere. By what Wi-Fi? The shitty Wi-Fi I can't connect to right now in your building? And they're like, no, yeah, we want you out. And like, you're recording because the other stores will claim that you're recording what's in their store for as corporate espionage. I mean, besides the fact that the YouTuber, the big YouTuber that they had there as a guest at that time was recording stuff for his channel, which is probably still up on his channel to this day.
Yep.
And while he was allowed, he got authorization. You got authorization from every motherfucking store in the mall, so he can record his shit. Are you telling everybody that showed up for this event that took photos with him and the cosplayers that showed up that they have to delete their shit because they took photos without your permission? And besides, their own policy said, oh yeah, you can't take photos and video recording, but it said nothing about audio, yet I was recording audio. This was before I had a little bit more of a steel in my spine in regards to the show. Or else I would have said, call the fucking cops. I would have taken them to the, I was like, their policy says nothing about audio. And I'm not, how is this, digital Radio Shack audio recorder streaming to YouTube or Facebook? No way in hell in regards to that happening. So, and not to mention, we're talking about their promotional person that the mall hired worked for corporate Xfinity and some of these other major companies, and which meant that this person probably got paid the high six figures, and he's now probably working $36,000 a year job at a mall in Martinsburg, fucking West Virginia.
Foxcroft.
Yeah, in Foxcroft. This is before they made it a strip mall. But
well, hey, I've got to take a piss real quick. I'll be right back.
But so, if anything, can we pause this?
So entertain everybody while I make water.
Well, go make water. But on my end, while Sasha is not here, I think this is still recording on our end. To kind of weasel in that theory that we kind of that film theory that we kind of talked about last week in regards to Over the Top and the Wizard in regards to the connection in regards to that. Granted, I made the connection of the truck. It's not just the truck. The aspect of my connection in regards to it is the whole aspect of the person that was driving saying the truck belongs to a friend of his. He's busy doing something. He let me borrow the truck. Yeah. Who's to say his friend, who was busy, wasn't the person, he was in the process of signing up and registering to be in that arm wrestling competition, and he had to get the truck back prior to selling that truck at the dealership. So who knows? It's my only connection. And so far, I want you all out there to at least prove me otherwise in regards to it. And it's still dark on it. Let's see if there's any ghosts in the kitchen of doom. There is. Move the oil bottle or the syrup bottle. I think, ketchup bottle. I think Sasha needs some more stickers on that stuff on the counter if she's ever going to do this again. So, what else can we talk about? What else? She's back. Shit. She made it back.
So here's another aspect on all that bullshit. And this is one of the reasons why I think they kind of blackballed me. Because they knew, honestly, if I would have showed up to that event this week, not this weekend or next, but 2 weekends from now, they knew that I was going to be talking to certain other contestants. And I'm not the only contestant that's dissatisfied how this happened. Like Amy Vampy, who does Dark Ride Dracula, she does a lot of like Dark Ride reviews and things of that nature. Plus a lot of trips to Mahoning, things of that nature, kind of fall in line with the stuff that we do. They knew that me, Amy Vampy, Jenny Copcho, on Saturday evening, we're going to have a little sit-down powwow while we were out at Blobfest. They probably did not want us having that. Anybody who knows me, if you done fucked up, you don't want me at that event because I'm going to talk. I'm going to make noise. I'm going to make comment. I've already told them I'm a journalist. I even tried to apply for press passes because, hell, I've got the degree for it. I have the background. I think somewhere I have my expired Playboy press pass. It's what I used to get in the Hunter Thompson's funeral back in the day. He would have been proud. But at the end of the day, they knew I was a threat. And they were all happy about my enthusiasm. We appreciate your enthusiasm. How often did they say that when they messaged me in the DMs? More than once. And it's like, I'm glad that you like my enthusiasm, but keep in mind, if you're doing something shady as fuck, you're going to find that enthusiasm can be used against you.
And the thing is, they try to shut you up about this. They try to keep you quiet. What are we doing? I was like, we're making even more noise about it. Not only is this video probably, if you get off your duff, posted up at least in its entirety on your end of things before or during or after Blobfest happens.
Yep.
I'm going to be posting at least the full episode and the clip of everything on my channel.
Yep.
Before Blobfest happens. So therefore, every time somebody searches Blobfest, like every event, I post up a video. Heck, I'm getting, because Otakon is right now about to happen within the next 2 to 3 weeks. Guess what? More and more people are going to be searching up Otakon or Otakon, even though Otakon 2022, Otakon 2020, the phrase Otakon. Some of my older stuff is going to get views. It might not be a lot. It still gets views. When Blobfest hits, some motherfucker, no offense to that person who attended, is going to go up on YouTube. Search Blobfest or Blobfest 2022. Guess what's going to show up? Video, the clips, everything that is tagged Blobfest. That shit's going to come up. That shit's going to get views. My initial clip, that's an hour and 25 minutes long, already has, at least, I'll say it right now because we're still recording. It has currently, if the app opens up, 43 views right now. Granted,
it's not a lot, but you know what? Word of mouth. It's a motherfucker. Word of mouth.
And granted, I'm just a teeny tiny little YouTuber with 120 subscribers. It's going to get out there. People are still going to talk about it.
I'm tempted, with your permission, if I can candy grab your clip and your update and post it on my Twitter. Because right now, that one video I posted on Twitter at my actual Blobfest, video entry, it's at 1,200 views. So I'm like, maybe I should.
And you have that your Twitter blue, so therefore you're limited to like what, 2 hours?
Yep, more than
an hour and 25.
I can exceed 2 hours.
But still, you're able to do that. Let me just put this up there. Give me credit, thanks to Long Coat Mafia Podcast for giving me permission. Provide the Linktree link. You can do it.
All right, then that's what I'll do. And I hate to say it, I will put it in as my pin. I will put it in as my highlight because I know that just increases fucking views.
As the original this is the original controversy in regards to what I've been having with Blobfest. Special thanks to Long Coat. Tag me with that.
You know
and,
me.
The whole aspect. But like I said, I'll post this up as an update and everything else. I'll clip it out and everything. That way, everybody can see the history and the updates, because we are covering it. We're continuing. People have commented, or at least one person has. Hey, guess what, folks? On the Long Coat Mafia podcast side of things, we do respond to comments and emails and stuff. This is the prime example for it. We are talking about people who responded to us. Granted, this was a hater who claimed to know shit that obviously they don't, but we're more than happy to respond to comments. And heck, let me put it like this. Let me pull that one. Sasha did reply to somebody that did post a neutral comment in regards to the let's see here. I don't want the YouTube. I need the app, the studio app, because she responded to someone posted up the original comment where everything else was posted underneath it. Their reply was, something tells me those running the event will never actually tell their side and be honest with the fans. And Sasha replied that and said, yeah, I think your reply was, I think that's why they're blackballing you or something like that along those lines. But to kind of, it says your reply to that comment was, oh, they're trying to silence me and make me their scapegoat as is. But still, it was just, a neutral comment. Sasha wasn't harassing this person that made that comment. She was making commentary to, or at least making an attempt to agree with this person. So she wasn't harassing. There wasn't anything malice behind that. She wasn't harassing everybody. Just that we're talking about one person that claimed, oh, she's being an asshole. She's being a moron. She's being a troll.
He got malice for me on that because they're pretty much blowing fucking the Colonial and Wildfest.
And the thing is, the other thing I want to get into in regards to this whole, and as my update said, is that one thing is that the email that was sent to Sasha in regards to the day after we recorded that main video was that I read on the video as the update and on the audio side. It said, oh, due to all this vitriol. I was like, I didn't know what vitriol meant. I had to look it up. And it just means just bitter commentary and all that. Oh, because one person had bitter commentary on it, you got offended? Really? That's it? That's it? It'd be one thing if it was like a couple hundred people that had bitter commentary, or what happens with a New York Comic-Con or San Diego Comic-Con or Baltimore or an Otakon, where there are thousands upon thousands of people that might have a legit reason to bitch. One person has a thing like, hey, a lot of this stuff should be made comment. You have that ability. Why don't you do so? She has vitriol against us. We got to ban her from the event. Don't let her be a part of this show. That's cowardly.
And at the end of the day, they were just trying to silence me, because look at their biggest thing in those DMs that I sent you. They wanted me to remove my posts, which at no point said for certain X person is the winner or finalist. It was based on conjecture on public views. And all of my posts up until those DMs were 100% positive and good for Blobfest. Why did they want those comments removed? Because it fucking threatened them. They were trying to threaten me, to silence me and shut me up, and not realizing that you're dealing with somebody who not only has a degree in journalism, but is also a YouTuber who's also familiar about copyright and trademark and things of that nature. And number three, they know I'm that bitch who's going to run her mouth when something's not right. You know me well enough to know if you did something fucked up and I caught wind of it, you're going to fucking hear about it. We're friends. We're friends. You know that.
Right. And the thing is, though I agree in regards to a lot of folks that might have degrees in a lot of things, there are, with what I try to do, granted, again, I said it before in this episode, my only journalistic training is in high school. That's it.
It's still
That's
something.
it. It's still something. It's not a degree. And the fact that I learned, by just, okay, what do I have to do? I posted up as an anniversary episode in regards to the first interview I did for the show. I know how to talk to people. I know how to, remove myself from that. One of the things I did in community college was in regards to culture and, that sort of thing, like old paintings and architecture.
I feel
and all
really
that.
small with this beer. Unlike the last time when I had the little tiny bottles, I feel really tiny with this beer.
Yeah, where's that? She could hold a big giant can in her hands, but refuses to hold a Xbox 360 controller.
But, drinking beer is less manipulation. And where's my boyfriend with his rude commentary? Oh, at camp.
But one of the things that I learned taking that class, it was just pretty much like cultural appreciation in regards to paintings, books, architecture, and so forth and so on, was removing myself in regards to when you're looking at like something like religious art, you have to remove yourself from, if you're someone like, if you're looking at Christian art, you have to remove yourself as a Christian or a Catholic to appreciate it, to get the full nuance and the details. So that's one of the things I learned and I took with me in regards to when I started this show. And it was great to learn that, not to mention asking folks, all right, what do I need to do? Learning from people who are, whether it be someone, let's say like John Stossel, or someone, a local journalist saying, all right, because a lot of folks say, well, in order to be a journalist, you got to research. Well, my thought in regards to that is, it depending on who you're talking to, yes, that could be a benefit. Also, it could be a hindrance. And a lot of folks are like, what do you mean? Well, if I'm talking to someone, let's say, like them, hate them, whatever, Neil deGrasse Tyson, not many people might not be on his level of education and what he's going to talk about. So I'd rather play the fool or the idiot and ask him questions so he's able to explain himself, instead of me being on his level and the people that I sharing the video and the interview with be totally clueless. It allows me to be the audience, speaking for the audience, instead of me speaking on his level, the intermediary. Yeah, I can do research in regards to his book or anything like that. So there is a mix that needs to be done. And I try to bring that level. And I try to, where, like you have that expired Playboy press pass. So I had an interview that I did a few months ago, if not last year. I spoke to an independent author who's a local journalist. She was impressed that I had that little multi-video, mini video recorder that you see me wander around a lot of events with. Yeah. You've seen it, right? She was impressed that I had that. And I'm like, well, it's my weight. And she's like, what do you mean by that? I said, well, you're a journalist. You have, even though you could apply for an Associated Press pass, but that Associated Press pass is out the window because you have a press pass from the journal. Therefore, that's your weight. You can walk around doing interviews and take photos with your phone because your weight is that journal ID. I don't have that luxury. Whereas even if I had an official press pass from, again, I want to use Oticon. If I had that press pass, yes, that's some weight, but me having that mini recorder, me having a actual camera around my neck, and having a digital audio recorder adds even more weight that way. So me approaching someone in the venue saying, hey, can I record you for my podcast or my YouTube channel? It gives the presence of, hey, this person actually is a YouTuber. This person actually is a podcaster, not just some fool that managed to con his way having a press pass. It allows that more comfortable and psychological having more weight.
Exactly.
And granted, I want to do respect. There are some YouTubers out there like the Daily Woo that some people will recognize and so forth and so on. That's their practice to go in and buy a ticket. I could respect that. And it's what I usually tell a lot of folks that might come in. It's why I like working where I'm working now, especially who I am. I have this big TikTok following. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. Why? Because if you actually had a big following, you wouldn't be asking me for a fucking discount. Because if you had that following, you'd be telling them it's worth the damn price. It's worth the damn price. Because that's what I do. If you're not, and you're just using it for, hey, we'll give you exposure. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. I'll fight that with my owner. I'll tell them flat out, do not give them a discount. Fight it. Well, I'll tell you, like, listen, I'll go on it, record me right now, and I'll say, I'm the Reverend Godfather, main host and frontman for Long Coat Mafia podcast. I work for this establishment as well. As a YouTuber, TikToker, and podcaster myself, I had strongly advised my employer, no relation to, they don't fund anything I do, but I don't allow it. I think what you're doing is unethical. If you had the nerve and spine, you would be putting that stuff, paying that stuff, and telling your followers it's worth every goddamn penny.
Damn penny.
Because that's what I do. And if, like, I tell folks when I get free stuff from, like, I'm willing to, like, with Black Dog Coffee, it's like, let me pay you for it. Let me pay for it. Well, no, at least let me make the attempt to pay you for it. Because, yeah, you're helping me out, but in giving me free coffee or something like that every now and again, but at least let me pay for it. Because, let me say, and if she insists on it, I'll say, hey, I'd still pay for this thing no matter what. She just did me a favor. She doesn't have to do that. And say, gives them more, I want to give more weight to what they're doing. And it's what I tell a lot of folks, what Blobfest did to you by saying, you know what, Sasha, bend over while we shove this pineapple up your ass.
Yep.
Without actually saying that. It's what they did to you.
All I did to incur their wrath, simply put, was I conjectured based on public videos and those who got not a finalist letters or only a finalist letter, who the winners might be. That's what set them off, because they knew somebody was paying the fuck attention. Because they knew if I would have been there for the run out and everything else, they knew I would have been the first one to stand up and go, wait, Heidi App only appeared in an episode of You Bet Your Life. Why is she getting crowned Miss Blobfest when she didn't put in the fucking work? What about Dr. Divine? What about Jenny? It's great that you gave her a little pat on the back. What about Lisa Gary, who entered 3 years in a fucking row? Granted, yes, she didn't step up her game or change anything. She sat in front of the camera, much like we're doing now, and gave her sob story. But 3 years of a row of dedication, of free advertisement, free publicity, free everything. And you're just going to go with a girl who lucked into being on public TV?
In fact, let me put it like this. I'm agreeing with you, like we said earlier, with the doctor. You had somebody right there that would help you on the forefront, that gave a better platform for the STEM field right then and there. If you had someone like this, I'm addressing Blobfest and Colonial in regards to this. if you had somebody that was non-binary, and here you have in front of me, or depending on where this video is situated, next to me, below, whatever, wherever the video, Sasha, somebody who's trans, you could have had a trans advocate in regards to it. Now, if you, during her reign, Sasha's reign, she said something that you did not agree with, then come out and publicly say, hey, we have to strip her of her title in regards to it. But you didn't do that. All right. That would have been right now circumstantial because Sasha didn't make it that far. The thing is, you had folks, and you had somebody 3 years. 3 years. You could have brought her as a finalist, brought her to as a winner, and said, hey, even the underdog has a chance of winning. No, you didn't. You didn't. You chose somebody because what? They're a big time actress or somebody who lives in Hollywood and was on a game show. A game show.
It happened to plug your event.
Plug your event. Granted, let me put it like this: Vanna White was on the Price is Right show prior to becoming on Wheel of Fortune and famous on that. But she wasn't plugging the Wheel of Fortune, her candidacy for Wheel of Fortune, while she was on The Price is Right. No, she was just there enjoying her fucking self being on the goddamn Price is Right.
Yep. And this is the part that just really irks me, because even, and I'm going to call him an asshole because he wanted to use that language towards me, but the asshole in the comments of the other video, saying that I'm whining because I didn't win or anything of that nature, I could give a fuck. I'm used to being passed over for shit because I'm a loud, proud trans advocate. Fuck you, I'll keep submitting. I'm kind of like the Dan Notes of the trans world. I will keep showing up, keep trying, and when you do hand me my acceptance letter, I'll tell you to shove it up your ass. But at the end of the day, I had more fun making videos for this event than I ever would winning it. And as a trans person, I'm used to being looked over for bullshit. I'm used to being, we can't take her, she's trans, controversial. I'm used to it. But when you got people like Jenny, you got people like Amy, you got people like Lisa and Dr. Divine, two of those people have regularly submitted. Amy submitted last year when I submitted, so she's 2 years running. Lisa is 3 years running. And granted, Lisa wouldn't be who I'd pick. I'd either have picked between Amy or Dr. Divine if it were up to me. No offense to Jenny. She had a very bubbly personality. It was very great. But seeing the work and the effort they put in, and then to hear Amy afterwards being like, I was going to go to the competition. This is before all this shit happened to me. She's like, but I'm only going to come Saturday just to see how it is, but I'm not participating again. I know Jenny feels like she's shit on because she won finalist, but now they've told her, you don't even have to show up anymore. We're not letting you in. Because they've already got their winner. They don't need her for anything because she was just a show. So they revoked her tickets to go, her free tickets to go to the run out and the blah ball, which is totally unfair. All she did was broadcast the fact that no, she didn't win either. Which honestly, me, Amy, Dr. Divine, when we got those notices and we transmitted them on the air saying, we didn't win, we wanted to let our people know who may still be attending the event, if you're here to cheer us on, we didn't win this year, but hey, we're going out next year. You know what I mean? But it wasn't to bash on the event. The only time that I came to bash on the event is when they approached me to remove my post guessing who the winners might have been, and then try to threaten me with copyright and trademark infringement. Those are the only two things that pissed me off, outside of the fact that privated, unlisted videos, and of course, Heidi App being on TV supplanted all the hard work that those four girls have done. And that's why
I bet if you were still going, you probably, if you were recorded or anything like that, you'd probably be like, oh, this is Dr. Divine. Great to meet you, and video and all that. It would have been happy and all that, covering all this. But the thing is, when it comes to, like, in my experience, let's say I was able to do it. It was a big, or let's say Steel City Comic Con or someplace big or something like that. And I heard rumors of, because fans of my show know I've done it a couple of times, and I've critiqued Clownfish TV in regards to how they do stuff. Right. Because when they've done walkthroughs at different events, they literally walk by people. They walk by Dan Noakes. They pretty much walk by John. I'm mispronouncing his name. John, if you see this, I'm sorry, John Lennox. They pretty much walk, like, oh, this is John, he's a good friend of ours, and just walked on by. And it's like, oh, they're like, oh, he's got a panel today, yada, yada, and just walked on by. Meanwhile, I see, and they walk by in one video, Forest State Comic Con booth, and a smaller con. Like, why aren't you? I'm watching this video, like, why aren't you stopping by it? You're for the smaller people and the independent people. You didn't stop by Forest State and say howdy. Yeah, why not? Or what? You didn't stop by Dan and say howdy. Meanwhile, I'm like, I'll call out Clownfish in regards to some of my stuff because they're bigger. I'm punching up and like, we're going to do stuff that Clownfish doesn't. Hey, look, it's Dan Noakes. How are you doing today? Shake hands. What do you got new? And I want to spend maybe 2 or 3 minutes at his booth talking to Dan. I want to spend 2 or 3 minutes at Jason's booth. Hey, Jason, you got a panel today at this event? You do? What's it about? And where can they find you? And I'm going to go walk around. I want to speak to a lot of the vendors that might be individual. Or if I realize that's going to take too long, I'm like, you know what, folks, this, I'm going to hold the camera at me and go, hey, stay tuned for vendor spotlights because this is going to take too long. And that's what I'll post up is those vendor spotlights. And it's me being courteous to the viewers and the places that I want to spend more than 5 minutes at and talking to them. So I'm sure you would have done something similar. I would, that's what I would have done. Yeah. But now it's like, what? We don't want you here. We don't want you. It's like, we don't want your kind here. And granted, that statement might be a little bit more insulting to you, where it's like, what do you mean you don't want my kind here? This tiny, eye drop full of the tiny drop of a podcaster in the sea of podcasters. You'd rather have a PewDiePie or Joe Rogan or someone with a multi-millions of subscribers and followers on every single platform, but me? No, we don't want you here. Looking at you, Awesome Con. That's why I don't try to apply for a press pass for you. But the thing of it is at the end of the day, I'm not mad that I didn't win. I'm used to being denied shit. It's just the nature of the beast. I have more fun competing. But when I look at people who put in the work, especially years of work, and you guys are passing over because somebody lucked out to be on a TV show, that's fucked up. And it just brings into question about the transparency, because at the end of the day, if you went to a contest or a competition and they just was like, well, here's the winner, and what videos you saw, and they're telling you, oh yeah, well, there was 5 public views, but there was tens and hundreds of more non-public, and then of course you had the winner, you're going to be curious about those videos. But at no point, you went last year, right? Right, and at no point did Blobfest show my video, the other finalists' video, and yes, I made finalists. That's what I want to ask. Did they show because it would have been nice to see, hey, this is, let's say it was, to use her as an example, nothing against her, Dr. Divine. Okay, Dr. Divine's, let's say last year was a finalist. Here's Dr. Divine's video. Here's the other finalist video. Here's the other finalist video. That would have been great to see if I was in attendance for that finalist picking.
Yeah, I would think that was part of the stage show, but no, in the years I have gone, that has never been part of the stage show. So you're just kind of looking at this person who just got crowned, and you're like, oh, where's their video? That'd be like watching Miss America, for example, and you see all the contestants, and then the person that wins, you've never saw once the whole time.
That's what I was going to. I don't think I said. I might have said it as part of the update, either audio wise or the video wise, where I was talking about that. You know, or at least I was thinking about it, that to use the actual pageant as an example. Okay, you have 100 people for the pageant. Then during the night, it gets whittled down to 10 for the quarterfinals. But the semifinals, it's instead of there being 5, it's 1. But at that point, 4 people that was never shown up, was never there for the entirety of the competition, were brought out and said, these are the other 4 finalists or semifinalists for this event. I'd be like, if I was attending, like, who are these fucking people? I just sat here for 2-3 hours watching every single one of these other 100 people tap dance, juggle, parade themselves around, act like pieces of meat. And yet these people that were maybe scared to show themselves were just hiding in the back and judged by God knows what standard, while these people had the spine, the cojones to show themselves, to be in the public spotlight. That's unfair. That's unfair to the people, because this year, you, Sasha, and the 4 other contestants that made themselves public had the ball. I know it's the wrong thing to probably say.
I'll just carry him higher.
Had the spine of steel, had the spine of carbon fibers, you know, whatever you want to call it, to make everything public for public ridicule. Yet these mysterious 5 other people or 10 other people were hidden, never made public, that their videos, they might have the right to have their stuff be private. But Blobfest, again, never once has a history of not showing those private videos, while they could have used their stuff as advertisement for that current year, future years, or what have you. They never did. Therefore, were they family or friends of the event, or were they donors, or were they pre-picked altogether and they just said that they were private?
Yep.
It makes the people that are coming to see a public performance and to see the potential what these people did in regards to making themselves a finalist redundant. Utterly redundant. Especially if I have to buy a ticket, let's say you're one of the finalist contestants, if I have to pay for a ticket to see that final 4 or 5 be chosen, and I don't know who these motherfuckers are other than that they're the 4 or 5 finalists, why am I paying $30, $40, $50 for the ticket?
And here's the thing, and this is something that I want to point out to everybody. I pre-bought all my tickets, knowing full well if I was a finalist or a winner, I'd be given better seats and tickets for free. I still pre-bought all my tickets. For me, it wasn't about winning. For me, it was participating, enjoying people who love horror and things of that nature. Not only that, but like I've said before, I did the first official Blobposal. Blobfest, Colonial Theatre, you steal that shit, you owe me money. Fuck with my trademark and my copyright. But anyway, I literally...
I'll say it like this. Because the event has been canceled, the argument can be made that since the event has been canceled, the contract between you and the Colonial and Blobfest is null and void. Therefore, since the event has been canceled, officially canceled, them using or claiming rights for advertisements is null and void.
Right.
Null and void. And if they say, hey, here's the current, winner of Miss Blobfest 2023, I thought it was canceled. We got word that it was canceled. There shouldn't be a Miss Blobfest 2023.
And they do. It's Heidi app. Watch it. Watch and see. But my biggest thing is that, and I'm not gonna lie, Al was super excited for this because I found out I'm his first everything. Let me read into that. Everything. And I found out that he had never been to a formal event. Like at least one where you had to dress up nights. You know what I mean?
Right.
Be it a prom, be it a formal dance at college or a spring formal or a summer formal or an event like that, where he literally had to dress to the nines. And so it was funny because it was prom weekend where you got everybody doing like prom proposals, everything else. That's why I did a blob proposal to him. He's like, well, you already know I'm going to go with you no matter what. And I said, no, I want to make this a special evening where you get to wear a tux. I'll buy a really fancy dress. We already know there's going to be slow music. We'll have a few dances and we'll have a good weekend of it. That was taken from us. You know, that also irks me because honestly, if you would have said to me, or if they would have approached me and said, look, you know, you kind of outed us. We're not being very transparent here. Can you just be quiet about it and have a good time and take your tickets? I mean, yeah, I would have had that whole moral quandary, but for him, I would have sacrificed it. But the fact that they came at me so fucking hard, even he said, Sasha, if you didn't confront this, you wouldn't be you. I'm not mad at you that the stuff got canceled. I would have been mad at you had you not spoke up and not done anything. And yeah, he's a little upset that we don't get to do this event. But you know, I'm busy trying to figure out how some way to make up for that weekend since we already put our vacation time into it and everything else. But to me, it feels like just because I posted about the event, was positive about the event, took, and keep in mind, conjecture, took guesses at who may have won or who may have been finalists based on public information, that I get banned and barred. And to me, that just seems kind of fucked up because the only time that I flipped the script on them was when they said, threaten me with copyright, trademark violation, and then were asking me to delete and remove posts because it made them look bad. And to me, I'm like, motherfucker, you know, you just said this online. You know, I got screen grabs. And at that point, I just let their own words talk for them because fuck them. But to me, it upsets me because it ruined Al's weekend for that weekend. And it sucks. If I'm mad about anything, it's that and how the other contestants got treated. I could care less if I won or not. Al will tell you, be the first one to tell you that I have at least 5 or 6 scripts for potential Miss Blobfest competitions for the next 5 or 6 years lined up. And if you don't think I'm going to film them and post them, you're full of shit. Because it's happening either way. Ban me and bar me all you want.
And just use the kind of the logo that you created in regards to everything.
What's that?
The logo, Blobfest logo that you created, not theirs.
Yep.
One that has the
Drama.
just lighten up that just lighten it up a little bit brighter. That way it shows up more because it was very hard to see. So
I think if I add blue to it, I think blue will be the change.
I'm thinking more of a white or a light blue.
White is just such a contrast because, like with red, what's the contrast to red?
Red and green, blue and yellow.
Oh well, I'll just make it fucking green. Make it a fucking eyesore so you can't ignore it.
Because if it's too dark, a lot of folks won't pick it up. And as somebody who has issues with shades,
I'm colorful
colors, so therefore it's hard. It was hard for me. A lot of folks could probably make out that word, but for me, it was very hard to make out that word because it was so close to the background shading. I could barely make it out.
Yeah, and I'll get it taken care of. But yeah, no, expect more entries. And I'm gonna Dan Noakes that shit. Keep rejecting me. I'm gonna be Dan Noakes with Dragon Con and AutoCon. Please keep rejecting me. And the day that you send me a letter like, all right, we give in, you've won, I'm gonna tell you now, give that shit to somebody else. I don't want it. Because I am the Princess of Darkness. I don't need a fucking crown to prove that who the hell I am.
And if they don't do it next year, the whole mixed Blobfest stuff, go full Fairy Odd Parents. This is where we would have our Blobfest video if they had one.
Yep, they don't even go
Dinklebar.
Well, since they don't have a Miss Blobfest, here's who I would pick from past entries that got overlooked.
Right. And to kind of, I don't want to say we've been dwelling on this for about an hour or so, to kind of quickly move things along. What about that whole aspect of the Canadian fires kind of making everything look like doomsday or the apocalypse has just happened?
For me, it wasn't so much that, but this past Monday, I don't know how the air quality is for you, but like down below where you're at versus where I'm at here in Pennsylvania, the air quality for the last week has been nothing but shit.
It was hazy all here.
Huh?
The days that it was worse, it was like hazy every day.
Yeah. But like on Monday of this past week, like I go into work and I'm like, man, like my chest hurts. Now keep in mind, I was in a car accident a number of years ago. So technically I only have a lung and a half. But it felt like I couldn't breathe out of this one whole side and it hurt. And having had 2 heart attacks back to back last year, I'm kind of like, oh, this ain't good, which kind of made me happy that I work at a high school. And so because they have like an ESY program, which is like a special needs program going on for over the summer, they have this school nurse in. So I'm like, I tell my boss, I'm like, hey, I ain't moving another piece of furniture until I make sure I'm good. I didn't bring my pressure cuff with me. And I go in, and the nurse is just shocked to see an employee. And I'm like, hey, can I, that was going to sound weird, but can you check my blood pressure and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, I had 2 heart attacks last year. I said, I feel like I'm having a hard time breathing, and this side of my chest really hurts. I know I've had an accident like 20 years back where I lost half a lung, but can you check me out to make sure everything's copacetic? And I was so glad she was there because she did everything. And afterwards, she's like, well, the air quality is shit today. She's like, so that's going to be my guess. You already struggle because you have a lung and a half. And with shit air, you're probably struggling that much more. So she's like, if you want, I can call your boss. You can go home for the day. I'm like, it's the middle of summer and nobody's working today aside from me. And like one of my more elder people that work with me, and they don't have a lot of muscle, and nor do I, but I have more muscle than them. I'm like, shit ain't getting done if I go home early.
And the thing is, at most with me, I've been just randomly sneezing, which could be the result of everything. It's just like, I have a lot of people like, well, you don't know what the air quality is in regards to where all this smoke is coming from. Like, it's wilderness. Granted, you don't know what mines and everything are in there, but it's mostly wilderness. There's not going to be some pre-built home like here it is in where you are, or here in Martinsburg. You're not going to have that level of air quality contamination from a fire burning a stick home or a prefab home. It's going to be strictly wilderness. It's going to be whatever. If it burns, if that fire burns poison ivy or something like that, yeah, you're going to have that in the air. But for the most part, it's not going to be, unless that fire is going to hit a mine, then yeah, there might be problems. And the thing is, it's like, this is a Canadian fire. It's not a California fire. And some people are saying, what's the difference? Like, one, Canadian fires is the difference of the vegetation. There are trees in California. When there's a fire, the seeds open up, the cones open up to let out seeds, and so new stuff is capable of regrowing. That's not the case in Canada. And the folks that love the tinfoil hats will share clips on TikTok and YouTube saying, look at these planes and helicopters making the fire worse. They're actually igniting the fire. Tell me you don't know about firefighting without telling me about firefighting, because what they're doing is laying down a fire line in hopes that that fire moves from that point closer to the fire, not away. They're not starting anything. They're making a fire line so when that fire moves closer to that other fire, it stops.
Yep.
It's helping stop that fire. Granted, I'm not a fireman, but I've seen a lot of folks about videos and stuff about how people put out like wilderness fires and stuff like that. That helps. That makes me a little bit more knowledgeable than some average tinfoil hat motherfucker on TikTok.
Right. So, and then the other thing that trips me out is you have a ton of people just making memes and jokes about it. And it's like, motherfuckers, you do know hundreds of countless of people have watched their homes and things of that nature burned down. Yeah, the air quality sucks. Yeah, visibility sucks. Yes, we have a really cold summer this year as a result. It sucks. But it's, as much as we want to blame Canada, we can't, because, you know, any number of things could have started this fire. And you've got people losing their homes. Joke about it as much as you want. I know I made the one offhand joke of, oh, we're getting all their air pollution. Does that mean I qualify for their Canadian health care to take care of the problem?
I'm sure I haven't seen it, but if I did, I would have probably laughed aloud and shared it. Is the fact that some of the where it didn't look like complete apocalypse taking over, but it was just a different color sky. I'm like, what is this? And it was just that I'd be like, what is this? Somebody trying to redo the scene of Night of the Comet with the sky is just a different color. Yes. But I would have laughed at that. I would have shared that joke. But are there homes or cabins being burnt? Yeah, it's a loss. Are we going to make fun? A lot of folks like, well, don't make like they did with our opening segment in regards to the sub
but that's what people.
And the thing is it tragic? Yes. But what a lot of folks tend to do when there's tragedy is they make a dark humor in regards to it. It's their way of coping. Yeah, there's some people that are complete and utter douchebags and assholes. They're going to joke about anything and everything. That's not right. But there's a lot of folks that will make jokes over because it's part of their trauma. They have to make light of something. If they don't laugh at something, it's going to hurt. Yeah. I've done it before. Hell, I did it close to, I would say over 11 years. It's going to be going on 11 years ago with my mom when she passed away. I made those jokes because if I didn't laugh at it, or I didn't, and if it wasn't my buddy helping me laugh at it, it would have just hit that much harder. It just eases that road a little bit. And his logic was, hey, because at that time it's like, hey, my mom's dead, your mom's dead now. Hey, welcome to the Dead Moms Club, you know, and it's that humor. And we had one coworker at the time that came up to me and he was like, yeah, I'm so sorry about your mom passing, you know, doing the standard stuff. And my buddy leans out of the trailer that he was working in and goes, hey, madman. I went, what? He goes, your mama. And just walks back, you know, leans back in and starts doing what he's doing. He's like, Joe, you can't say that. His mom just died. He's like, he leans back forward and goes, my mom's dead too. So what's the point? You know? And without missing a beat, I look at the guy that was giving me condolences. I look at him and go, Tony, what's your mom? Is your mom still alive? And he was like, yeah. Well, dude, get with the program. Join the club. My mom's dead. His mom's dead. What's the matter? Join the Dead Moms Club. And my buddy's laughing his ass off. And the guy, Tony, is like in shock that I said something like that. Yeah. And it's it's dark humor. It's a way of showing that, you know, he's helping me overcome it. But
to a degree for that. But there are some people who take the memes way too far with the fires. And I'm kind of like, You know, mine, I would qualify as dark humor. I'm like, hey, we're getting all of the Canadian wildfire pollution. Does that mean I get all the Canadian healthcare too? At least that's a decent joke. Whereas you got people who are just making light of the damn thing, and you're like, there's a lot of animals, there's a lot of vegetation, there's a lot of people that have been displaced by that. And it's kind of hard to make that kind of joke. But like with rich people's getting into a submarine and their shit getting fucking imploded when they were warned multiple times not to do that shit, and they were using a cheap ass game controller to navigate the sub, that's on them. Kind of like the whole killer whale thing. You heard about that, right?
Oh, the killer whale, like they were like interviewing the killer whale about something, and he was like,
no, there's actually a side story to that. There's a bunch of killer whales, a whole pot of them. Even though they could be hunting down the people that hunt them for sport, they're attacking rich people's yachts and just destroying them, obliterating them, and killing everyone aboard. And it's like, goddamn, they must have got the memo about eat the rich. You know what I mean? I know one friend. One friend literally posted a pic of basically that said, yo, killer whales, and below it was J.K. Rowling's personal yacht. Yo, come get this one.
It's just that from what I've heard about killer whales is that they're a bunch of dicks anyway in regards to how they operate. It's like they will launch fish, stingrays, the whole 9 yards, just for even dolphins. They'll just yeet them into the air just for shits and giggles.
We've all seen Orca. We know how hardcore a killer whale can be, okay?
And not to mention great whites, great fucking whites. If they find out an orca is in the area, they go, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm out. I'm going to somewhere else. This fucker is here. I'm gone. Fuck you guys. I'm going home.
I'm just watching the ocean totally uprise against all of the rich people out there, be it submersibles, be it rich people yachts. And I'm like, holy fuck, did somebody finally piss off Neymar or fucking Aquaman and they're having their war of the sea? Fuck you, rich people.
I told you, nature has the aspect of, what? Fuck this, hold my beer. And a lot of people don't understand that. It's like everything that we have a theory of or knowledge of, if nature finds out, it will literally say, hold my beer, watch this.
Yep.
There's so many examples about that. And I think I've had 1 or 2 people like, nah, I'm like, listen, we get to one certain spot in the ocean, we go, nothing could live in this part of the ocean. The pressure's too high, it's too dark, and all of a sudden, nature goes, fuck this shit, hold my beer, here's a fish that has bioluminescence. Fuck this shit, we're too damn deep, it's too pressure. Fuck this shit. Nature goes, fuck this shit, hold my beer, watch this, there's a crab, there's a jellyfish. Oh, fuck this shit, we're too damn deep, it's too damn cold. You know what, fuck this, hold my goddamn beer. We're going to open up a volcano vent, and we're going to have life where there's crabs, microbes, and the whole other shit.
Right.
Heck, there was that marine biologist that found a lake underneath a glacier in the Antarctic. They drilled a hole down. They put down a GoPro. They found fish swimming around. He's like, I didn't expect fish there, but there's fish. Nature once again saying, fuck this shit.
Fuck you.
Hold my beer.
Your rules don't apply. And this is to link it back to the whole Canadian wildfire things. When you think of Canada, what is the number one animal when you think of Canada that pops into your head?
The geese.
Okay, aside from geese. I'm talking about mammals, 4 legs, horns.
Oh, moose.
Okay, what's the number one predator of the fucking moose?
Orcas.
Yes. And a lot of people go, what? And I'm like, yeah, during the winter months, they got a deep dive to eat up that seaweed and whatnot, and killer whales tear their fucking day up. Nature don't give a fuck. And there are so many people right now conjecturing what started the fires. I've heard some idiots go, well, it was a bunch of women firefighters who thought, oh my God, we're going to start a fire, put it out so we can share it, women can do it. And then I've heard theories of, oh, well, people were throwing cigarettes out of a train. Which of those two do I believe most? The people throwing cigarettes out of a train. Because there have been nothing.
The whole aspect of, I remember seeing the meme in regards to finding out that orcas hunt moose. And it's just like, just imagine that scuba diver seeing that for the first time. One, seeing a moose just swinging along, and all of a sudden an orca attacking said moose. Then having that person go to somebody else. You won't believe what I just saw.
Yep.
You're not going to believe this shit. What do you mean? Let me guess, Tommy. You saw a UFO. No. I was out, scooping off the bay, in regards to, that's what I do. Like, yeah, you were out in the bay this week, scuba diving. See anything? Yeah, I saw a moose swimming. Fuck, you did. I did, man. I did. You want what the kicker was? I saw an orca eat that moose. Fuck, you did.
But anyways, to kind of loop it back into the previous topic, but not to completely separated. But I figure I pitch this to you for an idea, given our mystery commenter. What if, because we may be hanging out in August, at least the end of August, much sooner than you think. What if somehow I got a hold of their product that they like to sell at Blobfest, as well as a couple of their other products? Would you be game to do a review of that product and kind of help me question some of the copyright and trademark issues with it?
Most definitely.
Considering, like, based on personal experience, those little stress balls that you have.
Yeah. And the thing is, it could be the way it's like, hey, I know we've been posting a lot of clips and a lot of full podcast videos on the channel. Let's get back. Let's do a product review. We're at this event. Hey, Sasha's here. We'll do a review. We'll do something outside of the podcast, outside of clips, and so forth and so on.
Let's say we get the blob related product and the stuff related product. So that alone, as long as you get it through Etsy, not including shipping prices, mind you, be about $50. And then you and I review it when we deal with our stuff with Harrisburg Comic-Con.
Right. Well, that can be done. I'll have at least better stuff. I'll have good chance. No, that's August. I know I'll still have that side. I should do a video in regards to what I got for free in regards to this side fanny thingy. I posted up the photos on my Instagram in regards to it. It's like, I know what it's used for, but it's so good because September I plan on getting.
It's your utility bill.
I plan on getting jerseys made up with like the show logo. That way, if I go to another big event or 4-state or something like that, I could have the jersey with, my show name on it. And instead of me wearing that freaking backpack all the time, I could easily have quick access to all my recording equipment at my side. So,
speaking of our mutual logos, I'll figure I'll throw this out here. It might even help you with some of your like GoFundMe goals and things of that nature. Another big GoFundMe goal that you and I could do together is if you hit a certain high dollar mark for like donations, you and I get a crisscross, meaning I get your logo, you get my logo as a tattoo.
You know what? I'll do it just for Sasha. I'll go one better. You have to get my logo as a tramp stamp.
That's going to be problematic because guess where my logo is going?
My tramp stamp area is reserved for My Little Pony. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But I just think it'd be interesting. We will get a tattoo of each other's logos at X dollar amount. You sort out that dollar amount. I bet we would have a ton of crazy people who feel like, boom.
And the thing
Now, the
is,
question is, I will let that dollar amount up to you.
Folks, you have to donate. And though we're humble by it, we'll be grateful for it. We do ask you to like, share, and everything else in regards to that. That's why I posted up the meme in regards to it. You have to donate in regards to the tip jar.
Comment, and obey.
Because since the initial $50 donation, nobody's touched it. Honestly, nobody's touched it. And the beyond that, it's been scammer after scammer after scammer after scammer. The kind of folks that are like, hey, we'd rather do Cash App or PayPal. Oh, hell no. Nope, we ain't doing that shit. We have the GoFundMe. Please use that. Oh, I'm on GoFundMe. Where are you? That's not how GoFundMe works. I know that. I ain't a fucking idiot. You know, because they're banking on that you don't know how GoFundMe works. Yeah, donate. Folks, please. If it's $1, if you can only afford $1, that's grateful. Hell,
so
I'll go like
him and I in a bikini. There's a certain dollar amount. What's that dollar amount?
The bikini top is 1,000. 5,000. Okay. I'll do a stupid dance with the bikini top on TikTok.
Okay, what about the tattoo? Where's the tattoo level go?
Let's double that. 10 grand.
10 grand. All right, so there you go. 10 grand. If you guys donate 10 grand, and are we talking like actual like individual donations or combined? So it's a little bit more fair.
Let's say
that go with combined. So
yeah,
like
combined is yeah. Well, I'll set the donations aside for it because depending on everything else, I want to do it in sections because I want another tattoo as well. And I think Sasha would think that this is an honorable tattoo. It would probably be the first tattoo I get on me, outside her logo. Sasha's logo would be the second. The first one would be on the upper arm, and it would be the Green Lantern symbol with the semicolon in the center.
Mm.
For the folks that don't know, the semicolon is pretty much on somebody is that either you or you yourself or that the fact that you know has decided to keep on living and chose life over suicide, unaliving themselves. And underneath, and because the Green Lantern symbol itself is willpower, it's a perfect combination. And underneath that would be the text from Finding Nemo. Just keep on swimming.
Yep. That's a good tattoo.
And that would be right here. And that's the kind of tattoo. Somebody who works in the tattoo shop next to where I'm at said it can't be color because redheads have an issue with color. So it would have to be like, in essence, black and white. So it would be just a black tattoo and just the semicolon and just keep on swimming underneath that. And then we'll go from there. But still, if you want to, guys and gals want to enter, do that, please. The tip jar's there. It's in our Linktree link that we post on Twitter and Instagram. If you follow us on Instagram, the little clickable link is in the bio. We have Patreon and all that we will, have Patreon exclusives and all that. On my end, I'll include like title cards or end cards saying thank you to these particular donors. Plus, you get to see the video prior to it going live on YouTube. That whole fun jazz.
And I'll throw out another incentive. Like Chris can decide how he wants to go about doing this. Because me, I'm impatient when it comes to things, so I couldn't wait for Evil Dead Rise to hit home video to get both Blu-ray, DVD, and a digital copy. So as soon as that digital copy was available, I bought it. But I'd already pre-ordered the Blu-ray, DVD, digital copy bundle. So I have a digital code for Evil Dead Rise that Chris can use to help promote that GoFundMe till I guess whoever decides to donate for whatever dollar amount, and so many that put in, I'll give Chris that code so he can give it to that person to use.
Sounds like a good deal.
I would say. Wait, you got a microphone on your wrist too?
A what?
Oh, you got. Okay. I thought you had like a wristwatch with like a microphone on. Are we going Dick Tracy here? Does it make you?
I'm not that well funded.
Well, at the end of the day, you get to be my Jimmy Olsen.
Screw Jimmy Olsen.
Huh?
Screw Jimmy Olsen.
I get to be Lois Lane. You can be Jimmy Olsen. It'll be cool.
Al's no Superman.
I don't know. There are days when he surprises me. You already thinking it, no. Man of Steel. But anything else you want to close out on?
No, not really. I don't have anything right now. Just that stay tuned for the rest of this week in regards to, at least on my end, regards to bonus anniversary episodes. I might put out a couple of extras this week. Not to mention,
him and I on his anniversary will have an episode.
We'll have something that will probably post the day of, or say the day after. In regards to that, we'll probably be recording that night, but still we'll have an anniversary episode. That Sunday or Monday, I'll release our last anniversary bonus retrospective episode in regards to that. So
now what we say Sunday for that?
At least my anniversary retrospective episode. It's going to be depending on how I feel after my D&D session. If I feel like putting everything together, because good chance this week, because I'll be scraping funds together to pick up the brand new laptop, the new-ish laptop. I want to get everything up and running in regards to it, but if I don't have anything ready, I still have to use the old one, which I'm using now, and if it wants to update again, it will lag and whine and bitch and complain, all the while I'm trying to put together an episode. So what would normally take anywhere between an hour to 2 hours to do, it'll take 5, 10, if not 24 to 48 hours to do. So it's why we're doing the GoFundMe and having all these crazy things. But I will say this. A buddy of mine said, I think he might have heard the episode in regards to the challenge. And he said, will you go full Dusty Rhodes? And I don't think Sasha is familiar with the name. There is a rest his soul. Dusty Rhodes was nicknamed the American Dream in the WWE/WWF. He wore his one-piece outfit was full of polka dots. Will I do something or find something with very large, loud polka dots? Who knows? And heck, in the audio side, if that happens, I will find the Dusty Rhodes theme and I'll put it as an intro. I'll get hit, but it'll be.
I do know a lot about Dusty Rhodes because before my one coworker quit due to like some back issues, they were nuts about WWF and WWE. So yeah, I'm very familiar.
So nothing against his son Cody and all that. So it's just, we just want to have a good time here at the show, and these crazy gimmicks that we do in regards to the bikini, the tattoo, and the silly TikTok dance and all that is just ways of getting participation. Remember, folks, if you can't do something in regards to donating or getting something through the partner, which I'll put in the audio section in regards to that, or Patreon, sharing, liking, subscribing, listening, watching, all helps. All helps. And that's how we stay humble. And if we get stuff, yes, I'll be happy to share receipts with all of you, showing that where the money's going. So,
and everything goes back into the show. I mean, I hate to say, even for me, you know, it all goes back into the show. If you're on my OnlyFans, you know, hell, if you're on my OnlyFans and you tip, you get special content just for fucking tipping. And at the end of the day, like, it all feeds back into this. You're still supporting us. You're still helping small time creators. We're beating the algorithm this way. But yeah, continue to keep an eye on Chris.
And remember, folks, despite what our haters might say in regards to having a tip jar, we're not asking for a handout. You saying we're asking for a handout is your way of saying, tell us you don't know about podcasting, the YouTube community, without telling us you know nothing about the community. Because having tip jars, having Patreon, having memberships, because YouTube has memberships now, and even Twitter, I think Instagram and Twitter has membership levels, meaning you're not just a subscriber, you're a paying member of them. Meaning Sasha being Twitter Blue, which means even though I'm a follow Sasha, Sasha could set up a membership program for an extra $2-3. I could be a subscriber or a member of Sasha's Twitter page. These are all things to support that creator, and that's why we have these things, so you could give us support if you so choose.
Yeah, and I'm all about value. I'm all about being like the cheapest motherfucker out there. So let's use my OnlyFans as an example. Yeah, like the initial membership might be $5, but if I see you're fucking brand new to my OnlyFans, or if I decide to start that whole thing with Twitter and I see that you're brand new, I can literally reduce it down to $2 a month for you for up to a year. $2 a month. Think about that for the second. You know, most people want you to pay at least $5, $10, $20 a month. I mean, look at Patreon. Like, some of those membership fees are fucking ridiculous. And you're lucky if you get maybe 3 or 4 episodes a month.
And the thing is, I know that there's creators on Patreon that have like a dollar level. When I tried to do that, because I wanted to keep it as cheap as possible, and I figured I don't want to charge folks $3. I want to do it $1. Patreon didn't want me to do that. I could not launch it at $1. I had to have it at $3.
Right. And that's why I do what I do, because like OnlyFans starts at $5. But let's say you signed up to OnlyFans today and I saw you pop up. I can go in, give you a special promotion where you're paying $2 a month. So instead of spending $60 a month, you're spending $24.
Right.
You know, you're spending $24 for the year. And to me, I think that not only lets people acknowledge the fact that, hey, I'm a new user, I'm giving you a year for a monstrous discount. And if you don't stick around for that, you got a problem. Because that's cheaper.
And the thing is, even though me and Sasha are being humble, saying, hey, if you don't have the funds, like, comment, share, it helps us in the algorithm. We're completely supporting about that. But for those of you who are like, why should we do that for you? You're just asking for a handout. One, if that's your thought process, fuck you. Is that an asshole comment? Yes, but you're being ignorant. Smaller channels like me and Sasha, it helps us. It helps us grow. It helps us get to the next level. If I want to do something on my own, to grow, me doing Zoom, if I want to take things beyond a half an hour recording on Zoom, I have to pay Zoom like $150 a year for that. It's a one-time fee. For someone that might be like myself, that is a huge chunk of money. And where that $150 can be used for, you know, bills, food, etc. You supporting us, that could go to Zoom and allow us to grow, get interviews, get folks coming in and say, hey, instead of Sasha being Sasha's busy, hey, I have time to record a 2-hour broadcast for an interview and post up to our YouTube channel and the audio to our everything else. It allows me to take that next step. And yes, I am appreciative of Sasha in regards to what she's doing to help me with the show and everything else. But it allows me, all this funds helps me grow. And when you have other companies that are, if you want to be better, if you want to record longer, if you want to, instead of streaming to one company, you could stream to Facebook, not just streaming to YouTube, but if you want to stream to YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, you have to pay us $15, $20 a month. That stuff helps. It helps.
And that's where
and plus,
all the profit I get from like OnlyFans and anywhere else, that goes into the ability for me and Chris to have long podcasts like this one. This goes for the ability for better equipment, things of that nature. And eventually that'll go to funding the movie because we have a script. We're ready to fucking shoot. Let's go. But at the end of the day, we're going to be able to show you and say, hey, here's what your money went to.
Right.
And at the end of the day, like the only thing I have to say as Sasha, the Princess of Darkness, keep watching, subscribe, like, comment, share the shit out of it. If you got a couple dollars to lend, help us out, help Chris out, help me out. It don't fucking care. It all ends up the same in the wash. And, just keep watching, keep commenting. Even if you're an asshole troll who wants to run your mouth, we'll respond to that. We'll respond to that shit all day. Because it's still an interaction. Like the two people I want to say that's out there that dislikes every one of my videos, I know it's the same two people. I know who you are. You're helping the algorithm realize, oh shit, these fuckers watch Sasha's videos. Hence why you're seeing me more often. The best thing you haters can do is nothing at all. But the moment you click that dislike or leave a nasty comment, guess what? I just move a couple more inches up that algorithm. And thank you for that. Because all a hater is a fucking backwards ass fan. So thank you, fanboys. Thank you.
And fangirls. Or however you wish to identify as.
But considering some of the content I pointed out there and some of the DMs I get, yeah, we're mostly talking men, at least in my aspect. Well, anyways, as I like to say, that's the show. So have a good night. Take care. Keep it real. And as always, unpleasant streams.
And as always, I'm a gamer. I'm wearing a bikini.
And he will, depending on how much you donate.
Yes. And you know what? If we hit that $10,000 goal, I will film the tattoo being made on my. I'll ask the place that I'll go to. I'll ask if I could record them doing the tattoo. That way, if I faint, you all get to see it. So,
hell, I'll record the other aspect while he's getting tattooed. It'll be like a double dash. It'll be great.
There you go.
Hey, we could go to the harbor there in Hagerstown. They're really great. I know half the artists there.
So either way, folks.
Stay tuned. Donate. Anyways, take it easy. Let me kill the recording here. Do.
Oh, I didn't record all that much. Okay. There you go.
Stop recording.